Hey beer fans, Ashley here, Sexton-Brewing.ca, and we are here with a new installment of video. This is the first installment of the 24 days of beer Christmas, we'll call it. So what I have here is a advent calendar. This is a beer advent calendar provided by, purchased through the craft beer importers of Canada. This is their craft beer advent calendar of 2019, and this is a Belgian inspired advent calendar. So I am going to be uploading videos every day of me opening up this box, sharing with you all the beer I find, and then just probably a terrible review of the beer itself. So these are going in this package of 24 beers, we will find 11 beers from Belgian breweries, and then 13 other beers from that are produced from any brewery in the world, actually, that is Belgian inspired. So yeah, let's just crack into it. So this is something I've purchased every year for the last 3 years. This will be year 4 now. Each year has a different theme. You can find all that information. I think it's craftbeerimporters.ca or a website like that, whatever. So yeah, this is something I really look forward to every year. I'm like a big kid at heart, and opening up a present is a fantastic thing, and really what's better than a beer present, right? So let's just get into it. Here we go. Day number 1. What do we got? And just so you guys know, this I'm keeping this box in my garage. It's not really well insulated, so it still stays pretty cool. It's definitely not warm, and I'll just be trucking this box inside and out every night. So we have Voodoo Love Child Belgian style ale aged on fruit. This comes from the Voodoo Brewery. And where are they out of? This is a product of the USA. We at Voodoo have taken over 2 decades of master brewing experience and our quirky personalities and wrapped them into a line of beers oriented around what we feel are fun, flavorful, and thought-provoking. We hope you enjoy our beers as much as we do brewing them. Cheers, Voodoo Brewing, Meadville, Pennsylvania, by the looks of it. So, 9.2%. Unfiltered, or 12 fluid ounces, should be served in a tulip. Well, I got a chalice, that's okay. Voodoo Love Child is our Grand Met aged on passion fruit, cherries, and raspberries. This is traditionally unique to lambics, so we feel, why should they get all the fun? This ale is inspired by fun, flavor, and a passion for brewing. We say have a couple and your own Voodoo Love Child later. Sounds interesting. All right, well, they didn't starting off with a 9.2% beer, so we're getting our money's worth. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll find out. Just gonna get like a raspberry rhubarb right out of the bottle. So, if you guys can see that on camera. So we got a slightly hazy, orangey, slight golden, very little to no head, light carbonation from what I can tell, sort of streaming up from the middle. Aroma, you get like a bready, biscuity malt. You get that raspberry. What else did they say was in here? Oh yeah, passion fruit, cherries, and raspberries. Okay. All I'm getting is just like a huge gob of like fresh raspberries, not frozen. Like raspberry seeds, you get that slight bitterness from the raspberry seeds that's sort of coming through on the nose as well. Smells interesting. Anyways, cheers, let's get into it. Interesting. Slightly tart, but there's definitely a very hefty malt body to it. Heavy bready malt presence. Raspberry carries through. I'm not really getting any other like fruited flavors that they state. If I was doing this blindfolded, I would just stick with the raspberry. Perhaps the sweetness there's a sweetness that's carrying through that's malt driven, but perhaps also through like a passion fruit. But I'd say it's pretty light to medium bodied. Carbonation is still very light. It's not an aggressive carbonation. And that fruit flavor sort of hits you up front right at the very beginning and just sort of fades pretty quickly. And then you're just sort of left with residual malt sweetness on the back end. For 9.2%, very well hidden, no burn whatsoever. This is slightly above chilled, so even as it warms, I don't think it's going to really give off too much in the way of alcohol. Alcohol is really well hidden. Really enjoyable beer. It's a nice start. I found in years past the first beer from these calendars has been a very muted, understated style of beer. I think last year's was like a basic lager. So start off with a 9.2 fruited lambic. It's a mild tartness to it, but it's not overly tart either. Yeah, just a really interesting beer, because you're getting some of that tartness from a raspberry. You're getting a nice heavy malt body, soft carbonation. It's very, very tasty beer, actually. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. Now, I'm not too sure if this was a one-off done just for this calendar, which they have done in the past, but I mean, I guess if you've had anything from this brewery, Voodoo Brewing, and again, they are based out of Pennsylvania, PA, and Meadville, PA, by the looks of it. If you've had anything by them, toss it down in the comments. If you've had this beer, even better, let me know about it, or what you may think. If you're opening this Advent calendar as well, shoot down in the comments what you thought of the day one beer. It'd be awesome to hear what your thoughts are. So, again, this is Voodoo Love Child by Voodoo Brewing from PA. Their Belgian-style ale aged on fruit. Very tasty beer. Anyways, it's a good start to the calendar and hopefully the first of many good beers to come. Cheers. Have a good night.